Good morning. Today is Wednesday, the 29th day of Teves. Tonight is going to be Rosh Chodesh, entering the new month tonight, the month of Shvat. And today we begin a new chapter, chapter 18, but it's not just only a new chapter, it is in a way also a new part of the Tanya. The Tanya is based, as the Alter Rebbe explained in the beginning of the Tanya. That's called the Daf Ashar. It's based on the verse, Ki karov elecha adavar me'od beficha bilvavcha la'asato. It is very near to you to do it. To do what? It's very near to you in your mouth and your heart to do it. To do the Torah is very near, very close to every person to observe the Torah mitzvahs. And not only to observe in action, but also to get the point to feel the ahavat, the love of Hashem, the fear of Hashem. And for the 17 chapters, the Alter Rebbe explained how it's near, how it's done. By meditation, that thinking about Hashem leads us to feel love to Hashem, to feel awe of Hashem. And even if a person is not capable of developing in his heart actual love, palpable love, nevertheless, he can have, as he explained in the last chapter, he can have intellectual love, something in his mind, some conviction that he understands that this is the right thing to do, and he's following it, and Hashem fills in the rest, meaning even if it doesn't have open, revealed love in his heart, Hashem fills it in. Now, the Alter Rebbe is going to explain in the verse, it says, not only is it close, ki karov elecha, it is close to person to do it, but it says, elech ki karov elecha adavar me'od. Me'od means it's very close. So, okay, we explained that it takes, until now, the 17 chapters, we explained how it takes time. It is a long but short way, as explained in the beginning of the Tanya. It is a long way to get there, to meditate, to think about the greatness of Hashem and so on. But is it really very close? So to explain this, the Alter Rebbe says that really the problem is that not everybody is capable of developing the love, even the intellectual love that we explained yesterday. Not everybody is capable of developing this love and connecting, whether a person doesn't have the intellectual capacity or he doesn't have the ability, the background to connect. And there is also a big challenge to bring down from the intellect to the emotions, to the conviction. It's called in Hasidus, there is the Meitzer Agoron, there is the neck that separates between the brain and the heart. And everything, in order to go from the brain, from the understanding into the heart, there is a neck that is from the word Mitzrayim. Mitzrayim means Egypt, and means also constraint. That is a very narrow place that constrains and does not allow from the brain to go to the heart, to their feelings and emotions. So not everybody is capable of doing this. So here comes the Alter Rebbe to explain that regardless of the quality, regardless of the ability of a Jew to contemplate, to meditate, nevertheless, there is something else that every single Jew possesses, and that is the neshama. That is something that he inherits from our fathers, Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, and that a hidden love that they have was inherited to us, and all we need to do is only to remember that love. So in other words, it is not the same way that you will do by thinking, by meditating the love that is created from the understanding, but it is a love that is already there by every single Jew, and you need to reveal it, and you need to remember this. So let's look inside what the Alter Rebbe says. It says the Alter Rebbe, "Uletoisef es bio, baer heitev milas me'oin," to explain more clearly and more precisely. The word "very" in the verse for this thing is very near to you. One should recognize with certainty that even a person who has only limited understanding of God's greatness, and he has no heart to comprehend the greatness of the blessed, infinite God, to produce through meditation a fear and love to Hashem. Even in his mind, even only in his mind and understanding alone. Like we said yesterday, some people are not capable of developing a emotional love, something you feel, but they're only capable of developing in their mind, the conviction. But what about that person that is not able to do not even that, not even in his mind? Nevertheless, nevertheless, it is very near, it is a very near thing for him lishma velasas kamitzvus atayra, to guard himself from transgression and to practice all the positive commandments. Vesalmud toira keneget kulam, and the Torah study, the study of the Torah, which counterbalances them all. It is so important, the study of the Torah, because the Torah study, without the Torah study, you have nothing what to go for. The Talmud Torah, you study the Torah of Hashem, counterbalances all of them. Befivu belvavei mamash, is able to do it in his mouth and in his heart, literally to sense in his heart. Me'um kadelibe, from the depth of his heart. Be'emes la'amitay, in absolute sincerity. B'dechilu urechimu, with the love and fear of Hashem. Shehi ahava mesuteres shebelev klolos Israel. This is the hidden love present in the heart of all Jews. And it says, Shehi Yerusha lanu me'aviseinu. And this is an inheritance from our patriarchs. The Rebbe once explained, what does it mean when we say it's inheritance? What is the definition of an inheritance? There is 3 ways you can acquire something. Let's say you have a beautiful building. You want to acquire a beautiful house, a palace, a mansion. So there's 3 ways you can acquire it. One way is if it's gifted to you. So the person gives it to you as a gift. The other way is that you buy it. You get money and you buy it. The third way is inheritance. When you inherit. So when a person gifts you something, the Gemara says a person does not gift something for nothing. You give a gift, it's because something you have done to the person to make him want to give you a gift. You don't just gift away without reasons. And obviously, when you buy something, when you buy something, obviously you have to give the value. You have to give something. But when it comes to inheritance, when you inherit something as there's no conditions that is required from the person that inherits. You can be smart, you can be stupid, you can be healthy, you can be sick, you can be old, you can be young. It doesn't matter. If you are a child of that person, you inherit it. So here comes the Alter Rebbe says that this hidden love that each and every single Jew has is an inheritance that we inherited from Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, the love and the fear of Hashem. And therefore, it makes no difference. It makes no difference whether the person who inherits is smart, is old, is big, is holy, is not, high level, low, doesn't matter. A Jew is a Jew is a Jew. And now the Alter Rebbe is going to explain what that means. So let's look inside. רק שצורך לבאר ולהקדים תחילה באר היטב שורש האהבה זו. But we must first preface a clear and precise explanation of the origin of this love. What is the origin of this love? The hidden love, has to have an origin. The love that we explained earlier that a person develops, the origin is the intellect. When you think about the greatness of Hashem, it develops love to Hashem. What is the origin of this hidden love? Veinyana. And also, what is the character of it? And the third question we need to clarify, Ve'eich hi Yerusha lanu. How is this an inheritance? That is a very fundamental question. That is perhaps the biggest of them all. The third question. Third question, how is it an inheritance? In other words, what comes through in the DNA? You can say a character of a person, for example, can be transferred in the DNA. A father is kind, it can have transfer to the children as well. But when it comes to understanding or not the capabilities of understanding, but to have a love to Hashem, recognizing God, this is something that it doesn't necessarily transfer from father to child. So how can we say that the hidden love that our forefathers had was transferred as an inheritance to each and every Jew? That's question number 3. And question number 4, we need to clarify. It says, Ve'eich nichlal bo gam dechilu. Also, how is fear also incorporated in it? Say we have to serve Hashem properly, you need to serve Hashem with both love and awe. So when we have the love for Hashem inherited from our forefathers, how is the awe of Hashem also, the fear of God, how is this also incorporated in it? Ve'ha'inyan. To explain this, Alter Rebbe addresses first the third question. And it says, Ve'ha'inyan ki ha'ava is hein amarkava. The explanation is as follows. It says the patriarchs were truly the chariot of God. What does it mean, the chariot of God? When you're talking about the quality of the patriarchs, the quality of Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, when you want to say something, what is special about a certain individual, You say, oh, this person, he's amazing, he's smart, he's good, he's devoted, he has love. Here we say, to define what are the others, what are the patriarchs? They were a chariot of God. The idea of a chariot is a wagon. A wagon has no self-will, doesn't have its own will. Your car doesn't have its own will. If it has, you have to see a mechanic. The others were so devoted to Hashem, it was that there was completely nullified their own self, and they became a whole new being, a being of one with God. Because they were so nullified to Hashem completely, they developed something which became godly. They became one with Hashem, and this is what they gave to their children. It says, "Ve'al kein zachu lehamshich nefesh ruach neshama livneim achareim ad olam." Therefore, it says they merited the privilege of drawing down for all subsequent generations of the descendants forever. And nefesh, ruach, and neshama. Those are the three levels of the soul: the nefesh, ruach, and neshama. May esse spheros de kedusha. And these nefesh, ruach, and neshama, they are from the 10 holy sephiros, holy attributes, shebe'arba olamos, which comes from the 4 worlds: the world of Atzilus, Beria, Yetzira, and Asiya, which are 4 spiritual worlds. Atzilus is the world of emanation, world of creation, world of formation, and world of action. Lekol echad ve'echad, and this is given to each and every individual, kefi madrigose. And the neshama is given to them based on their level, according to the level, meaning there is different levels in neshama, and they come from the different attribute, a different sephira. There's 10 attributes in every world, and there's different worlds. So each person, according to his level, receives a neshama that comes from a certain place in the worlds. Some people come from a lower place, some from a higher place, but also ukefi ma'asav, and also according to his deeds. Meaning that the person who lives in this world, even if he's born, let's say, with a lower level of neshama, but through his deeds, he can tap in and to connect to even a higher and deeper level of the neshama. But regardless of what level a Jew is, ve'al kol panim, at any rate, afilu lekal shebekalim, even to the most unworthiest, upoishe Israel, and the most sinful Jews, nimshach bezivugam, nefesh de malchus de asiya. It comes in their union, by their marital union, there is drawn down a nefesh, a soul, which comes from the level of nefesh, of malchus, of asiya. So asiya is the 4th world, the lowest world. Malchus, the kingdom, the royalty, is the lowest level of the 10 attributes of asiya. And nefesh is the lowest level of the nefesh, ruach, neshama, 3 levels of the neshama. So here we're talking about the lowest of the lowest of the lowest, but regardless, even the lowest person receives, at least by minimum, he receives this neshama which comes from this level. Shehi madrega atachtoina shebekedusha asiya. This is the lowest level of holiness in the world of asiya. Now says the Alter Rebbe, even though he received the lowest level of the neshama, nevertheless, we know in holiness, everything is connected, it's interconnected. Just like we say by when we count the Sfiras HaOmer, we say Chesed Shebechesed, Gevura Shebechesed. There is the attribute of kindness within the attribute of kindness. This is the attribute of severity within the attribute of kindness. They're all intertwined and interconnected. And therefore, even in the lowest of the holy levels, it is included from the top, from the Chachma. That's what he says. Nevertheless, since the Malchus is one of the 10 holy Sephiros, so the lowest level of Asiyah, is compounded of all other levels in Asiyah, including Chachma, the Asiyah, the wisdom of the world of action. The wisdom, the Chachma, is the highest of the 10 attributes. Shebetoicha melubeshes Chachma de Malchus de Atzilus. And within the Chachma of Asiyah, within the Chachma of the lowest world, is clothed the Chachma, the wisdom of Malchus of Atzilus from the highest world. Now, Shebetoicha, within the Chachma of Malchus of Atzilus, is enclosed Chochma de Atzilus, the wisdom of Atzilus, the highest level of Atzilus, which is the first of the worlds. Sheba, which in the Chochma of Atzilus, Meir Oyer Ein Soif Baruch Hu Mamash. In turn, in this level of a Chochma of Atzilus, it is illuminated by the actual light of the blessed Ein Soif. Kedichsiv, as it says, Hashem bechochma yosad eretz. As it is written, God in his wisdom founded the earth. The earth referring to the lowest level. How is the lowest level founded? With the wisdom of Hashem, with the highest level. And the same thing is another verse that says, Vekulam bechochma osisa. It is further written, in wisdom you have made them all. Using the definition, the word made them, which refers to action, with the wisdom. Venimtzo comes out. So therefore, we see that the light of the blessed Ein Sof is garbed in the faculty of wisdom in the human soul. Israel. Whomever this sort of Jew he may be, there's always the Chachma, which is Hashem is enclosed in his Chachma of his soul. Now, if you would think that the Chachma, in the Chachma of the person, there is the Ein Sof, but how will this affect the rest of the person? Says the Alter Rebbe, that the B'chinas HaChachma sheba im Oir Sof Baruch Hu HaMelubesh Ba, mispashetes bechol B'chinas HaNefesh Kula. That in turn, the soul's faculty of wisdom together with the light of the blessed Ein Sof that is garbed in it, suffuses all the levels of the soul. In its entirety, from head to foot. It vitalizes it to animate them with godly vitality. The entire body is vitalized through this chachma, which has in it the Ein Sof. As it is written, wisdom gives life to those who possess it. It says the soul which possesses the faculty of wisdom receives its life by means of this faculty as stated above. Now says the Alter Rebbe, and he concludes something very interesting. He says, Amrim, mamshichim poishe Israel, neshomas gvoyos meyod. At times, the sinners of Israel may even bring down for their children very lofty souls, show you be'imkei klippis, which had been in the depth of the klippis. K'moshe kosev b'Sefer Gilgulim, as it says, it explained in Sefer the Gilgulim, is the book of the Gilgulim, means reincarnations. There it says that there are very special souls that is given to the other side, the side of Kalipa, the side of evil, in order to sustain them. Now these souls, they refuse to to come down to this world. And the only way they agree to allow these souls to come down to this world, if it is given to people who are sinners, people who do not observe, because they figure if a person, this soul comes to a family, parents that don't observe anything, then that child also will grow up that way, and therefore it will give them even more power. But except that these holy souls that are very holy, and they have the ability, they have the power to break through and overcome the challenges of this world, and to come out and to bring down only Kedusha. It says, it's interesting also, it says that the neshama of Mashiach came down to this world also to very questionable unions. King David and Bathsheba came Shlomo Melech came after. And going backwards, you have also the Lot and his they came obviously from Ruth, who was a Moabite, who originated from the children, the union of Lot and his daughter. And that says that through that union, God put in a very tricky way to make that union so the very holy neshamas will be able to come down to this world, and that this ended up the neshama of King David, which leads to the neshama of Mashiach. So what we see from this, only the beginning of understanding of what is the definition of a Jewish soul. It is something which is from a very the DNA in every single Jew, but it's not just the physical DNA, it's the spiritual DNA. This is why even if a person converts to Judaism, also receives that same spiritual DNA, which was given through Abraham and Yitzchak and Yaakov, that they became a chariot to Hashem, completely nullified to God. And that's why they received that special neshama, which was given to their children forever. So thank you for joining today, and please share, subscribe. Any questions? We'll take now questions.